Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very grateful to you once again for sparing your time to watch and to listen to me as I continue explaining issues relating to how best we can be able to ensure that we advance the social and economic interests of the working people in Uganda. I continue talking about social and economic interests because this job of advancing the rights of the working people has been a job that I have done for so many years. But in the process of doing the work of helping workers enjoy their rights, I realize that there's a lot of energy that is wasted pursuing certain things in life which are actually very useless. There are things in life that we pursue thinking that they can be able to give us the desired results, but actually you realize later that these things are not useful. Even if you did achieve them, they cannot be able to deliver the result that you seek. For all these many years I have served the workers in Uganda, I've come to a realization that there are certain things that we need not waste time on. The workers of Uganda, there are certain things that we need not waste time on, because even if we achieve them, still they will not give us that social and economic satisfaction that we seek. And we have done this severally through the work of trade union struggles. Trade unions everywhere in the country, we have come up, either individually or collectively, to speak for the workers. And we have explained and showed how the rights of the workers in Uganda are abused. We have seen how workers are going through enormous pain and suffering. And sometimes we spend a lot of time trying to provide relief. We want to leave workers to stay where they are and provide for them relief in those environments where they are working, with the hope that they will be able to have their rights addressed and that they can be able to attain the social and economic advancement that they so passionately seek. This kind of thinking is not right. And you know, if you are not thinking right, then it is like that even the beliefs that inform your thinking are wrong beliefs. And honestly speaking, if you have wrong beliefs and you are thinking wrongly, how then do you expect to help yourself get out of social and economic disempowerment? Because all these things start with what we believe, what we think. And then how do we translate what we believe into reality? If we believe wrongly, then what we are going to do, most cases, will be wrong. Because we have got wrong philosophical beliefs, ideologies that really do not necessarily address what we need to be able to live decent lives that we want to have. I would therefore want to share some of these issues with you, the workers, because you know, over the past period I have talked about systems created by government through which social and economic justice is believed to be delivered. There are systems that exist within workers' organizations. There are systems that exist within employers' organizations, including companies that give employment to you as working people. But unfortunately, these do not deliver the justice you want. And there is continuously the process, there is a lot of complaining that goes on because you have not achieved what you need and you struggle thinking that these very systems will help. We've talked about it. But one of the things I really want to talk about, you fellow workers, today is that I want to spend much more time actually addressing you, even more than I would want to address employers. Because employers, I do not see how employers will stop taking advantage of you. I do not see how employers are going to stop taking advantage of your weakness, exploiting your weakness to make money for themselves. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. Employers will not stop exploiting you to make money for themselves, because many of the most of the profits they make are profits derived from exploitation. So when you tell them not to exploit you, then you are telling them not to make profits. Okay, they can make profits, but not as huge as they are making. When you tell a government not to exploit you, then you are telling them that they should not be able to advance their interests. But these governments are run by people, many of whom are very greedy people. Many of whom don't care. They even betray their own people. You will get a government composed of leaders who speak very well, but when they have an opportunity to act and you see the things they do, you really wonder who will ever help the poor? Who will ever help the vulnerable and the disadvantaged? I have looked at circumstances where I take a matter before a government officer, and I expect a government officer to act fairly, knowing very well that he or she has got an overriding responsibility to ensure that citizens are happy. But when you see the way government officers conduct themselves, you really have all reasons to get worried and say, now who is going to help the poor? Who is going to help the vulnerable? Who is going to help the disadvantaged? And for this very reason, I now want to, it is sufficient enough for us, the working people, to know very well that you will not get social and economic empowerment from your employer, because that has never been the intention of the employer. You will never gain social and economic advancement from government. Government, that is not their intention. If the intention of government is to ensure that its people are economically empowered, they will work towards that. But do you think that is what the government is doing? Not only the government of Uganda, but the governments in Africa here, and look at all the neighboring countries. See what is happening. Me, I'm a trade unionist. I have traveled in many of these countries. I have seen what happens there. Really, are those governments genuinely wanting to help their people to gain social and economic empowerment? Some of them actually facilitate the process of ensuring that there is social and economic disempowerment. Some of them pursue a policy of not allowing people to be economically empowered. Now, when you have leaders who are in office and they have power, they have authority, and they are having that kind of belief, they have a belief that to control the people, you must make sure that they are